I'm George Misen, producing with Alex Bowden. The film came together this time last summer. There was a 70-page script which my writer colleague James Dormer had put together. We'd met Susie through the Rockcliffe Film Writers Forum, and I'd seen her shorts and we thought she was fantastic and absolutely perfect for it, because she really wanted a strong female protagonist, which this had, and you know, as a female director she sort of empathised with that. And we sat down and we thought, Alex came along Sasho with Susan, and we said, this is fantastic, let's do it. So we need to finish it. So we came up with some ideas how to finish it, and then we pretty much got the script in shape by about Christmas time, just before, did the legal stuff, and then started raising the money in January. And here we are sort of 7 months later, so pretty quick.
We've been plugging away for longer, though, haven't we?
Of course.
If you think back to September, we were already pretty much a unit, and really sort of, you know, it's been about a year of non-stop.
Yeah.
To get us into production and to get us up to the Peak District.
As I said, it was through
it's the BAFTA Rockcliffe.
Yeah,
we have to plug this wonderful organisation called the BAFTA Rockcliffe Sessions, which is a showcase for new writing talent. It was two worlds coming together as well, because we've been looking for quite some time for a thriller that ticked a few different boxes, and we'd already done a short film, Susan and I, which had a female lead, because we wanted to do something that was slightly different from other thrillers that were being made. So we were actually consciously looking for a thriller with a female lead, and it was that strong character that was already in the script early on, combined with the thriller genre, which we love and
we all love,
talk about the whole time.
Which is, you know, I think it's a perfect union, because we all James always writes with a strong female slant, rather than the sort of stereotypical male hero. He likes that, as of course Susan does, and we're all big fans of the thriller genre, so it was just perfect.
My name is Kirsten Moran and I play Cassie Naylor. She's been living on a farm it's been through generations, through the family, her father and her father. And she was married. She's done a murder, and it's a secret. And this man comes into her life that she's not interested in men, but he becomes a stalker and a psycho. It's very different to anything else I've done, yeah. Usually I'm playing the kind of single mum, a council house woman. So yeah, it's very different. I wouldn't say it's challenging. The only thing that's been challenging is not too much. It hasn't, because I'm doing a different accent. So it's more like RP neutral, a neutral accent, which has been fantastic, because that's what I wanted, and you know, the opportunities come around, so it's been great to do that. But I've also had a dialect coach that's been seeing me through it, so that's why it hasn't been so challenging, because you know, I've had a teacher there.
I think the role of Hannah is fairly complicated. She's got a lot of stuff going on which has happened previous to the story. She doesn't really get along with the family. She just wants to be by herself, I think. She's not really there at all until the end, where family becomes, I suppose, the main issue. She's just a moody, average teenager, but obviously with a backstory that isn't the same as most teenagers. I think you could don't really want to talk about what's happened to her. I think it's fairly easy to play a moody teenager, but obviously there is a good few minutes where you have to think about, hold on, in this moment, there is a lot of stuff going on up in here which you kind of have to embrace, but it's fairly easy playing a moody teenager, I reckon. A lot of face pulling.
I play Aidan, who's the he's the bad guy in the movie. He's a psychopath, a sociopath, I suppose is the word. He gets involved with this family in a remote farm. He appears like an angel, but in fact he's quite the opposite. And he helps them on the farm, and then he starts to become obsessed by them, extremely possessive in his psychosis, and one thing leads to another, and through a series of very dramatic events. It's interesting because the character is a well written character. He's well delineated. He doesn't do something without a purpose, and the backstory is in the film, and you realise that he's had an extremely traumatic childhood, which has basically turned him into the monster that he has become. He just doesn't appear from nowhere and just behave in a random way. He's the way he is for a reason. He's fucked up, but he's fucked up for a reason.
It was quite an interesting adventure finding the right farm. We went through quite a few different farms,
and
and learnt along the way. There was one huge thing that a learning curve for us was we just thought we'll find a farm. We wanted a dairy farm, so we thought, okay, we'll find a dairy farm, and that'll be the farm where we film. But soon we realised you don't get in the way of a dairy farm, because
it was
if
a working
you disrupt the
farm,
cows,
exactly, and
they stop producing milk, and the farmer sues you. So
we said that the countryside is a character in this film, and Susan really wanted to make it where it was set.
It's so beautiful around here. It's so beautiful. There are fields that go on forever. It's amazing, but the weather. If it was sunny. No, the location is beautiful. It's perfect for the film, I think. Absolutely beautiful, and just in every way. And yeah, that whole desolate feeling of having no one around. There's no help.
Well, for the main
leads, it was very focused.
Yeah, exactly. We were very focused on the role of Cassie and Aidan and Coop. With regard to Hannah and Amy, we did workshop the girls with Kirsten, because we wanted to see how they interacted with Cassie as the two daughters. So we did 2 or 3 sessions with a couple of Amy's and a couple of Hannah's, and hopefully we've got the right choice.
My name is David Bradley. I'm playing Cooper. He's a friend of Cassie and has been a friend of the family, you imagine, for many years. He's part of the fabric of the place. He lives on his own farm, presumably a few miles away, but he's got a kind of emotional investment in the family, in the sense that I think he knew her father and possibly even her grandfather. So that's always there in the background for whatever they do. And he feels quite protective towards Cassie, and maybe he wouldn't say it, but he's a sort of surrogate father to her. So I suppose at the beginning of the film you realise very quickly that they share a dark secret. As everything emerges, it gets darker and darker, and he feels ever more protective, and seems he will pull all the stops out to protect Cassie and the 2 girls.
The starting point on the cast was on the crew was very much having, working with the people we've worked with on the films in the past, and that was key. So there's a few existing relationships, and it's fantastic to have. You've got the DOP Nick Lawson, who has lit Susan Jacobson's last 3 films. The 2 gaffers, Ian Glenister and Mark Thornton, they were on Bushido: The Way of the Warrior, as well as 100th of a Second. Ian Glenister lit as well. So you sort of got, we've got this core crew. Katrina Birkenfeld, who's also my partner, she was on the last 2 films as well. And who else have we got?
Matt Button, who's the designer. I've worked with him on countless films before, and his team, his art department. It's a team, a sort of 4 to 20 size team, depending on the size of the picture. And so we had lots of people that we worked with that were the cornerstone of our HODs and crew. But then, of course, we had to go and find some other people that we hadn't worked with, some of them were from London, but quite a few are from the region, from Sheffield, Manchester, Stockport, Nottingham, Chesterfield.
We're bang in the middle, so we've got people coming in from everywhere.
So we've tried to. So it's a mixture, and as you said, it's some very experienced people. That the camera operator Jamie Harcourt has done countless films, and
Tomorrow Never Dies, Congo.
The stunt guy James
from Captain America, Harry Potter,
and he did Kick-Ass, and he did Sherlock Holmes, and so we've got a real great mixture. But as you say, we've got some youngsters on as well, and they're doing a fantastic job. I don't think they've ever really worked on a feature film before.
We've got a few people working on their first film,
and they're getting really stuck in, and I'm so pleased that they've had a chance to really, and they've really stepped up to the plate and really done a fantastic job.
I think we realised early on that was the way it's going to have to be. We're not a big budget film. We can't allure people here with huge paychecks. It's got to be that balance of a very creative, exciting project and the promise of a good unit where people are going to learn from as well. And hopefully these are people that we've worked with for the first time that we'll work with again in the future. That's very much our idea.